Celtics lead with Doc Rivers. Doc, first half it was all Rondo. You got Ray Allen and Pierce going in the third quarter.
Yeah, we got stops again and was able to run in transition. And, you know, with Rondo, we want him to be aggressive for the first 6 seconds and then play through Ray and Ball. We're doing a better job of that.
With Carmelo in the fourth quarter, obviously a great finisher. The coverage plan for him?
One-on-one until we need it, and then we'll send help.
Thanks, Doc.
Thanks.
Doc Rivers and his Celtics trying to make it 11 straight wins over the Knicks here in Boston. The last Knicks win up in Boston, November of 2006. Rajon Rondo back at the point. So Rondo and West in the backcourt. Green with Pierce and Davis on the front line. Pierce picked up by Anthony. Rebounded by Walker. 7-point Celtic lead.
Interesting, Doc Rivers staying with Rondo here to start the fourth quarter. Remember, the Celtics really struggled in the second quarter when Rondo went to the bench. And in the playoffs, sometimes you just got to go with your guys.
Good look from Mason. Anthony was stopped. Anthony with the follow. It counts. And the foul. Carmelo Anthony with 32 points, 17 rebounds.
He's so strong, and then he's so quick. Look at that second jump, beating everybody to the ball, and then the ability to just kind of stuff the ball back into the hoop off the board. I mean, he's just incredibly gifted and strong and talented, and he is putting on a show here tonight. And thank goodness for the Knicks, because nobody else is doing anything, plus Amari and Billups not playing.
17 rebounds is high as a member of the Knicks' career high of 22 boards. That was established earlier this season as a member of the Nuggets. Davis blocked. He was looking for a foul. He and Jeffries come together.
Boy, there was a lot going on right there.
Ball deflected out. Last touch by the Knicks.
Looked to me like Jeffries fouled Big Baby to start with. Then Big Baby, watch the little shoulder he gives right there. The second one could have been a technical foul.
Pierce with the step back. Nice move by Paul Pierce. Heating up in the second half. Now 8 of 15, 18 points. That ends a 7-0 run by the Knicks, and Boston has a 6-point advantage. They've led by as many as 11. Anthony to the rim, and again is fouled.
Watch this pick here from Big Baby, freeing up Paul Pierce. And look at Bill Walker. And that's a big man. Bill Walker probably goes about 230. But Big Baby looks like a defensive end for the Patriots. That's a big fella.
Davis on the foul against Anthony, his fourth. So Carmelo back to the line, 8 of 9 at the foul line.
And that's a big number that you just mentioned. That's his 10th free throw, with the 11th coming. Remember, he just had 4 free throw attempts in game 1 when he was launching three-point shots. 2 for 8 from the three-point line in game 1. He's 3 for 6. He's been much more judicious with the long-range shot, and then been so aggressive getting himself to the line.
Kevin Garnett is back, coming on for Jeff Green. Carmelo Anthony with 16 of the Knicks' last 18 points, single-handedly keeping the Knicks in the game.
It's a miracle that they're within 4. It really is.
Garnett lost it. Rondo defending on Anthony. Here's Carmelo on the move. They collapsed on him. Anthony remains in the backcourt. 5-on-4 here for the Celtics. Garnett spinning his way. Celtics cannot take advantage. The lead out for Anthony, met by Pierce, and he scores. Carmelo Anthony with 37 points to bring the Knicks within 2.
This is unreal. I mean, it's like Carmelo's performing CPR on his team, and he's revived them back to life. How are they within 2?
West off the step back. Way off. West able to get to it on the ricochet. Shot clock down to 4. Garnett. And a foul is called on the Knicks.
Wow. That was an interesting call there. Mike D'Antoni can't believe it. He thought it was going to go the other way. Love to see that one again.
Well, by the marvels of replay, Steve.
Let's take a look. And Carmelo, just that little hook underneath. And that did the trick.
I thought Big Baby thought he was going to get hit with that foul, but it's Anthony called for his third. Here is Pierce. Bothered by Anthony. Good play by Carmelo at the defensive end. Davis diving for it. Knocked away by Anthony, recovered by West. Shot clock is at 10. And now a foul is called. It's a trip on Anthony.
I think that's number 4. Yes, it is on Carmelo. But more importantly, let's see. Yep, he hooks him by the waist, and you know, if you're Mike D'Antoni, you just have to leave him out there. I mean, you have no choice. But now Carmelo really has to back off the aggressiveness.
Carmelo indicating to his head coach, I'm okay, I won't pick up a fifth. Rondo, too strong. Here comes Douglas. He has Mason on the wing. Douglas all the way, had no angle. Douglas hits the deck. Stolen by Mason. Looked like he stepped in the back court. Should have been a violation. There was no call. The crowd called it.
Yeah.
And the foul this time on West. Get the idea, and Knicks fans who have been following this club for a long time might agree that Carmelo appears to be channeled Bernard King in his many huge games over the years against the Celtics.
That's right.
Thank you, Ernie. Carmelo Anthony has scored 18 of the Knicks' last 20 points. Knick ball as we resume. Down by just 2, despite the absence of both Amari Stoudemire and Chauncey Billups. It's been all Carmelo. Leading Turiaf was wide open, and the game is tied. Rony Turiaf from Carmelo Anthony, who picks up his 5th assist.
Well, remember Doc Rivers told David Aldridge at the end of the 3rd quarter, he said, we're going to guard Carmelo one-on-one, but if he gets going, we may send a double. They did it that time, and Carmelo found Turiaf.
Rondo coming up short, and the Knicks with an opportunity to take the lead. They are in the midst of a 13-2 run, which has obviously been Carmelo. Anthony, yes, man, 39 points, which equals his high game as a Knick. 39, along with 17 rebounds, 5 assists. The Knicks have a 2-point lead. Rondo to the bucket, and the game is tied. Douglas looking to break down court, but the Celtics get back. 7.5 remaining in this 4th quarter. Boston is led by as many as 11. Here is Douglas with the runner. Davis with the rebound.
Douglas just 3 for 13, and Marv, I think he's a key guy in the last 7 minutes, because you better believe Boston's going to pay a lot of attention to Carmelo. So it's Turiaf on the inside and Douglas on the outside.
Rondo got the step. Rajon Rondo has had a sensational game. 11 of 18, 26 points, 6 assists. Boston up by 2. Anthony. Kept alive by Turiaf. Here's Douglas for 3.
Yep.
Tony Douglas from downtown, and the Knicks have a 1-point lead.
Turiaf with another offensive board. Douglas is fearless. It doesn't matter if he's over his last 10. He thinks the next one's going in.
Rondo fielding for Douglas, is playing with 4 fouls. Here is Rondo. Beautifully done.
Marv, that's 12 field goals for Rondo. If I'm correct, that's 12 field goals in the paint. So I don't know if I've ever seen a point guard actually do that.
That's a season-high 28 for Rondo. Three-pointer for Roger Mason. The Knicks have an 84-82 lead. Mike D'Antoni going deep into his bench here this evening. Garnett, yes. Game is tied at 84. Just under 6 left. Fourth quarter. Timeout called by the Knicks.
Well, this is just a spectacular show that Carmelo Anthony is putting on tonight. Got 39 and 17, and for Boston, it's been all Rajon Rondo using his length and his quickness to get to the rim yet again. We've got a ball game.
All right, Steve, time for Cold Hard Facts, presented by Coors Light.
Now you look at the playoff headlines. Chicago up 2-0, Miami as well. The Western Conference top 2 seeds looking to even the series. Lakers need to start playing well. I mean, it's been ugly for them. And the Spurs and Grizzlies, that figures to be a long series.
Here in Boston, just under 6 remaining fourth quarter. The Knicks playing without Amari Stoudemire and Chauncey Billups, led by the man with the basketball, Carmelo Anthony, tied with the Celtics. Pretty pass from Anthony, finding Jeffries on the hop.
Well, the Celtics have committed that extra defender to Carmelo. In the last few minutes, he's doing an excellent job of finding open shooters.
Rondo with the runner. Davis with the rebound. Davis with the putback, and the game is tied.
Well, look at this lineup that New York has on the floor. Jared Jeffries basically is the center, and you've got Carmelo and 3 guards. So Boston figures to have an edge on the glass.
I know I've said this before, but you look at these two clubs, aside from Carmelo, you might say, who chose up these sides?
Yeah.
And a foul is called. It is on Pierce, number 4. Let's go to David Aldridge. David.
Well, Steve, that is all the Knicks talked about in the previous timeouts of this last one, was that so many guys were open. Roger Mason open in the corner. When the double team came to Carmelo Anthony, he had to look for open guys. He had to go. Phil Weber told him, Mason's open. You saw Mason get an open 3. You saw Turiaf get a lay-in. Tony Douglas got a 3. Other guys have to score for the Knicks to win this game.
All right, David Douglas not able to hit that 3-point attempt. Here comes Rondo. Just under 5 left in the fourth. Game tied, 86 apiece. Rondo. It's all going in. That is his first successful perimeter shot. New playoff career high for Rajon Rondo. 30 points. Celtics have a 2-point lead as they trap Douglas.
Uh-oh, look out.
Ball is last touched by Boston.
Those expensive seats are great, but not when Big Baby is diving into your lap. Get everybody, get out of the way here. Big Baby with the deflection, and then it's like, uh-oh. Hide the women and children.
This is a game that has been tied 14 times. You've had 18 lead changes. Anthony was trying to get the call of a foul, will not get the call. Well, the outside official, Joe Crawford, indicating last touch by the Celtics, no foul, and the Knicks will have 10 on the shot clock.
Sure looked like a foul, and I think Bennett Salvatore was actually shielded from the play. Didn't get a good view of it because it looked to me like Anthony got fouled on the way to the basket.
Next foul by Boston puts them over. Here is Douglas. So Tony Douglas showing some signs after the slow start. He now has 14. He's been in foul trouble. He's playing with 4, as is Carmelo Anthony.
He's the most dangerous man on the floor for New York besides Carmelo at this point. Rondo with the miss, but Douglas, all it takes is one shot, and he thinks he's hot.
Rondo thought he was fouled. Here's Anthony for 3. Back tap by Garnett. Good hustle by Jeffries. Lost it off his foot. 3 on 2. Davis. Garnett over Jeffries. Garnett diving for it, trying to call for time. The official was not there to see the indication. He actually looked over at Mike D'Antoni, and it's a jump ball. He was tied up.
He called for the timeout. Take a look. He misses the shot. Great hustle by Garnett here. Right now, he's calling for a timeout. He's yelling for it. But you know what? Walker already had his hands on the ball. I think that was a good call from the official. Doc Rivers not happy. He wanted the timeout. But I think Walker was right on it.
problem from Garnett's perspective, though, the officials were on the other side.
They couldn't see him.
It's a jump ball with 3:36 remaining in the fourth quarter, and the game tied at 88.
The other thing is, when you have your hands on the ball, you can't signal the timeout. You have to yell it, and the officials couldn't hear him.
It'll be Garnett and Walker. Garnett with several inches on Walker. Controlled by Boston. Allen. Rondo. And they stepped away from Rondo. Davis passing on a shot. Shot clock to 3, 2. Rondo for 3. Jeffries working to save it. Ends up in the hands of Garnett. Here's Pierce from downtown. And Douglas able to scramble for it.
Oh, man. That was close. Pierce's 3 was halfway down.
Just under 3 left in the fourth. Tied at 88. They double up on Anthony. Mason. Shot clock at 2. Anthony. Yes! Oh, Carmelo Anthony from downtown. The Knicks take a 3-point lead. 42 points. Spike Lee enjoying it. Playoff career high. Tied by Carmelo Anthony.
This is why they made that trade. This is why they gave up half their roster, because they got a superstar who can take over a game even in the most dire circumstances. Stoudemire out, Phillips out, Carmelo taking over. Welcome back to the Carmelo Anthony Show in Boston. And whereas Melo struggled in Game 1, he has turned it around in a big way here in Game 2, doing it from every angle, from every way you can possibly think. In transition, pull-ups, three-pointers, the turnaround over Pierce. How about the last one? Just remarkable. The bump, the step through, knocks it down. 42 points, tying his career high. And now, Marv, the Knicks enter familiar territory. Boston, in this season series, has dominated in the execution column in the final 2.5 minutes. We saw it in Game 1. Who can execute better in these last couple of minutes?
With 45 seconds left in the third, the Knicks were down by 11. And a foul is called on Jeffries, only the 13th foul on the Knicks. The next foul against the Celtics will put them over the limit. 91-88. The Knicks taking that 3-point lead on the three-pointer by Anthony. Both teams have 2 full timeouts and a 20 remaining. Pierce off the dribble, challenging Anthony and Jeffries, and is fouled. Anthony stepped away, and Jeffries called for his 3rd foul. Here's a look at the upcoming national TV schedule. NBA television tomorrow. Going to be Memphis at San Antonio in Game 2. ESPN on Friday. Celtics and Knicks Game 3 as the series shifts to Madison Square Garden. Lakers at New Orleans Game 3, and then ABC Sunday, Miami at Philadelphia, and Boston at New York.
Well, Marv, if you're Doc Rivers, you have a decision to make here. The ball's going to go to Carmelo, obviously. You've got shooters surrounding him with Douglas and Mason. Walker has not made shots, 0 for 9 tonight. Jeffries is not a threat to shoot. So how do you defend? If you send a double, you got to be aware of Jeffries slipping to the hoop and Walker on an offensive rebound.
Well, the Knicks as a team shooting just 36%, but they have that 1-point lead. Here's the double. Here's Walker for 3. Davis follows the rebound.
Well, there's the guy they're going to leave. He's 0 for 10 right now. So Walker will have an open look here the last couple of minutes.
Just under 2 minutes to play in the fourth. Pierce with the opening. Got a wide open shot. A minute 40 remaining in the fourth.
Walker needs to go to the hoop instead of standing at the three-point line. If they double off him, he needs to run directly to the front of the rim.
Bad pass. Rondo pulls it back. Celtics again with a chance to recapture the lead.
Mismatch with Mason.
Here's Pierce. Slips it inside to Garnett. Boston up by one. Coming up on a minute to go in the fourth quarter. They're on their feet here at the TD Garden.
Here comes the double.
Mason met by Allen. 5 on the shot clock. Mason fires. Rebound. Back top. Rondo tried to tip it the other way, but it's kept alive by the Knicks. And Mike D'Antoni takes a timeout. They have 22 seconds on the shot clock. 49 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter.
Well, one of the reasons Boston is so good at closing out games, they have so many options. Garnett, Pierce, Allen, Rondo, they just find the open guy.
Point Boston lead. The Knicks in possession. Mike D'Antoni setting things up, calling that timeout.
You know, he's one of the best in the NBA at drawing up plays from sideline out-of-bounds situations. He did it in Phoenix. He'd get shooters open all the time. If he can do it here and get a quick shot, he gets a 2-for-1 as well. And he doesn't allow that Boston defense to double-team Carmelo. Let's see what he comes up with.
Walker got it into Douglas. Played by Rondo. 45 seconds remaining. Fourth quarter. Single coverage at the moment on Anthony. Here comes Davis over to double. Mason on the move. Mason cannot hit the layup. Kept alive. Douglas for Anthony. They have the new shot clock. 25 seconds remaining of the fourth. Douglas steps back on Rondo. Here's Jeffries to the rim and scores to give the Knicks a 1-point lead with 19.3 remaining in the fourth quarter. Jared Jeffries, the most unlikely player on the floor to score in that situation.
You got that right, but he was freed up just because Big Baby tried to jump out at that pick and roll. And if you're Kevin Garnett, foul him. Jeffries is a horrible free throw shooter. Take him down.
All right, Steve, Sunday night in game one, this was the setup as Ray Allen took it from Paul Pierce, knocked it down for 3. It turned out to be the game winner. How will the Celtics play it here? They're down by 1 with 19 seconds to go.
Well, you got multiple options, but I think if you're Boston, you want to get Paul Pierce with the ball and get him in a pick and roll situation, because New York's roster right now, their lineup is extremely small. And if you force the switch, Pierce has a major advantage. And remember, Pierce was the one who knocked down that game-winning jumper against the Knicks early in the season.
Ray Allen has not taken a shot in this fourth quarter. The Knicks have a 20-second timeout remaining. The Celtics have 2 20s remaining. The Knicks try to hold on for their first playoff victory in 10 years.
Well, you look at the points from the beginning. The rebounds have been critical for the Knicks. They didn't get the fast break situation taken care of, but the free throw attempts as well. The rebounding and the free throws, a sign of the aggressiveness of New York. That's what's allowed them to be up 1 at this point. And now if you're Boston, Doc Rivers has so many options to go to. And I think it's going to go through Pierce.
Knicks over the foul limit. Garnett backs his way on Jeffries. And it's Garnett with the shot. He scores to give the Celtics a 1-point lead with 13.3 to go in the fourth. But that's a lot of time for the Knicks.
Plenty of time, but I think Doc Rivers surprised everybody. He surprised me because Garnett has not had a very good offensive game. He's just 6 for 16. And this is a shot that he's not that comfortable with. Much more comfortable turning over his right shoulder. This time he takes the smaller Jeffries into the lane. No double team coming. And he goes over that left shoulder for the jump hook. And Doc, Man, does he push the right button every game? Amazing.
Doc successfully calling and succeeding on 2 key plays down the stretch in game 1. And here are the Knicks in a similar situation to Sunday night, in a possession where they will not have any timeouts remaining. This is their final timeout, although in this case they're able to talk things over to set it up.
Got to get the ball in bounds, obviously, and you got to get it to Carmelo, and you have to anticipate that the double team is coming. So if you're Carmelo, you can be very aggressive. You can attack the double team and try to draw a foul because Boston is in the bonus. And if you're Douglas or Mason, you got to be ready to shoot the ball.
Mason will throw in. 13.3 remaining in the 4th. Inbounds to Jeffries, takes it back, 10 seconds. Anthony. Jeffries try to throw it down low. Garnett got to it, looked to call for time and succeeded. Timeout Boston with 4.1 remaining. This time, the timeout was recognized, and Doc Rivers running onto the floor. Now he's upset.
I don't think he's that upset. I think he's got to be pretty happy right now. Take a look at the play. Melo knows the double team is coming. Garnett makes the brilliant play because Jeffries goes to the hoop and Garnett covers up in front of him, deflects the ball, and then calls the timeout. Just brilliant defense by Garnett.
You know what Doc was upset about? Players came off the bench. Delonte West was there, other players were there, and he was actually screaming at his players to get back to the bench. Almost had a situation the other night.
Right, when Delonte jumped off the bench the other night to chest bump Ray Allen. But here's all the bench players coming in. Now keep in mind, the only thing the referee can call here is a delay of game.
Right.
Now, the Celtics, I don't think, have had a delay of game to this point, so there wouldn't be any problem. Remember, you're allowed to leave the bench if there's no altercation. If there had been an altercation and you leave the bench, everybody's suspended the next game. But Doc doesn't want to take any chances. That's what he's upset about.
And I think Doc wasn't certain at the moment that the timeout was officially granted. So the Celtics inbound. They can in the backcourt, as you see, and they will run it out. West is fouled with 0.6 of a second remaining.
Marv, it's the same old story. It's the same movie, same ending. Execution in the last 2 minutes. How do the Knicks not chase Delonte West back there? There's only 4 seconds. And he just dribbles the clock out, basically. Unbelievable.
Delonte able to break into the backcourt, and the players on the floor obviously not aware that they get inbound to the backcourt.
The clock's ticking. When the game's on the line, the Celtics make the plays, and the Knicks have been close, but they just haven't been able to finish it off.
0.6 of a second remaining. Delonte West with hitting one of, actually hits the first. Knicks do not have any timeouts remaining.
So they just have to throw the ball in and get a heave. Technically, Delonte could miss it, and the clock could just run out. But I think he got to make it.
Jeffries will inbound, and Walker fires one. That will do it. The Celtics take a 2-0 lead in this best of 7 opening round series. Another disheartening loss for the Knicks, led by an extraordinary performance by Carmelo Anthony, who put up 42 points and 17 rebounds. They got back into it after trailing by as many as 11, but as you mentioned, Steve, down the stretch, Boston able to execute, and they make it 11 straight wins against the Knicks here in Boston. We talked about Carmelo Anthony. How about Rajon Rondo with 30 points, 13 of 23 from the field, along with 7 assists. Let's go to David Aldridge and Rajon Rondo.
Rajon, you said before the game you got hit in the side of the knee in game 1. You look pretty good for a guy playing on one leg.
Yeah, I'm fine. That day of rest helped, and I came out here and gave my team some energy.
What did you see early on that enabled you to attack Tony Douglas and get to the rim the way you did?
He just kept backpedaling. You know, he never stopped the ball, and I just try to attack the rim as much as possible.
In the second half, though, you got Paul going and you got Ray going. How did that happen?
They started collapsing to me, and I just tried to find my shooters. You know, they're our go-to guys, Paul, Kevin, and Ray. So the second half, I gave it to those guys.
At the end of the game, everybody's expecting Ray to take the shot. You get the ball to Garnett, he makes a shot and then makes a great defensive play at the other end.
Yeah, definitely. We have so many weapons. Kevin wanted the ball. I told him to be ready, and he came through for us on both ends of the floor.
Rajon, thanks very much. See you in New York. Back to you, Marv.
All right, David, a new playoff career high, 30 points for Rondo. They'll resume with Game 3, Madison Square Garden in New York on Friday night. Celtics now with a 2-0 lead in the series. Thanks to our producer, Scott Cockerell, director, Suzanne Smith, statistician, Brian Taylor. For Steve Kerr and David Aldridge, I'm Marv Albert. Again, the final score, the Celtics 96, the Knicks 93. Coming up next, the Blazers and Mavericks. After a quick break, we'll take you to Matt Devlin, Kevin McHale in Dallas.